Alright gamers, welcome to part 2 of the Dragon Draft Guide. So this time around I'm doing shit differently. I'm starting on a completely fresh account. This account has nothing on it. No characters, nobody knows who I am, nothing. And I'm going to be playing and getting the 2k chest, or just playing however long I need to teach you the basics. I'm going to be spreading this out through a couple different videos, each with its own theme. This one is going to be trophies. But before I do that, let's just do the basics. These are the first five waves. So basically, you fight a non-player character during the first, second, third, and fifth wave, and then every multiple of 5. So 10, 15, 20, so on. Every other wave, you fight a player. If you fight an NPC, you get an ability after. If you fight a player, you get to rank up one of your characters. Except for wave 4, you don't get anything. So here is a breakdown of the first 5 waves, because these are what's important in starting out your game. The first one, you win no matter what combination of 3 characters you use. It's just an AFK check. The second one, you need to focus on multi-hitters, on buffers, and just anything that can take down these 5 characters you'll be fighting. There is a heavy RNG element, however, because all of them have special attacks. So some of them just one-hit anything, and some of them have a multi-hitter. So if all of them use their special attacks, they're going to kill you no matter what you have. But if you have something like, an Ina, a couple Biancas, an Ina, a Bard, 2 Goblin Assassins, one of the 2-cost mages, something that can fight them back, then you have a decent chance. The third wave, you have to do 20 damage in 1 hit. An easy way to do this is to use one of the Wisdom characters or one of the Agility characters plus buffers. And the 5th wave, after this wave, you have to commit to playing something. So as soon as you get your ability after killing Brath, then you do your final little refreshes to get yourself situated, and you lock in what you're going to play that game. More or less. There's plenty of room to fluctuate, but you have to go in with a strategy or else you're going to get wiped out. So without further ado, now that you have this, you might want to screenshot it or whatever just to keep it in your memory. Now let's get started, and keep in mind the focus of this video is going to be trophies. So I'm going to be explaining those throughout the course of this video. Right, so here's the level 1 store. We are looking for dwarves, we're looking for bards, we're looking for elves, we're looking for agility, multi-hitters, anything that can help us during these early rounds. Right, so from that round, I got to purchase my first trophy, which I picked a 25 boost to all elves. Now here's all the possible tier 1 trophies that I could have selected from. I've color-coded them to let you know what's good and what isn't. Now this color coding, this isn't just a universal like rule for at any rank this is going to be how it works. Now this is specifically for people who are learning the game, who are climbing, who are trying to get to that 2k chest. Then this is the tier list you need to keep in mind. You can absolutely deviate from this once you're higher tier, but when you're still learning, when you're whatever, treat this as the law, right? So the green one, there's only one green one here, and that is Power Seal. That, for your intents and purposes, is the best ability in the game. If you have it, pick it above all others here. Now the 2 yellow ones are the power-up elves and the extra item ability. So the extra item lets you pick from 4 trophies rather than 3 at the end of an NPC round, so it's self-explanatory why it's good. It just broadens your options and increases your chances for getting good abilities. The elves, however, there is a trophy that gives plus 25 to goblins, to humans, to elves, and to undead. 3 of them are trash. Why? Because with goblins, their stats suck anyway. It doesn't matter if you boost them or not. With humans, you would get that trophy if you want to play dwarves, which they don't get a boost from human boosts. With undead, again, same as goblins, except even to a greater extent, their stats don't matter. Undead, the playstyle is, you're dying and you're putting debuffs and silences and all that on the enemy, so you're not even buffing your undead a lot of the time. With elves, however, you are running elves with this union. So if you go elves, it doesn't matter if you go elves and beasts, elves and spiders, everything is centered around Aelreds, around Inas, so the 25% boost is a good ability, unlike the other 25% boosts. The Power Seal, it's just a 20% boost to everybody. Amazing. Now the Power Fists. What this does is it adds 1 damage to every single one of your characters at the end of the round. So if someone loses to you, then how it works is they would take 1 damage for every star level of every one of your characters, right? So when you combine 3 of a kind, then you take it from 1 star to 2 star. That means that its damage would go up from a base of 1 to now 2. If you have this ability, it would go up to 3. It's devastating if you play it with stuff like goblins or undead, things that can replicate and fill the board up with 3-star things. Then you put on this Power Fist and you just wreck someone with like an 80 damage hit from 1 turn. But this isn't good in the early game. Now, in high level play, I really recommend this ability. I take this ability a lot, but in low level play, the meta is different. In high level, in top 50, top 100 games, everyone knows how to play, everyone plays well, so it's all about not really who makes the most mistakes, but about who gambles and wins and gets to press tiny advantages. So this kind of thing, the extra damage, it really goes a long way, and it can potentially kill someone who would otherwise make you lose points. In low level play, this just isn't the case. Nobody plays defensively. Everyone just tries to snowball, and they try to snowball off the people that don't know how to play. So these people that don't know how to play, they're who's going to get hurt by your Power Fists, and realistically, they're never going to win against you. So this ability just, it doesn't do anything. Realistically, it's not going to get you more points from you taking it. So, I don't prioritize it at all. Is it bad? No. Is it better than an ability that would help you? Absolutely not. In high ranking games, it's good. In low ranking, it just doesn't matter if you have it or not. Now, the coins one, again, it's very good in high level play when any kind of advantage is crucial, but in low level, everybody's dumb as shit with their money. People are very impulsive with refreshes, people don't conserve their coins, so there's no point it's an ability, it's there, but I wouldn't stress it, It really loses value when people don't worry about gold management at all. Then that's 7 coins, it doesn't really matter. So that's the breakdown of the tier 1s. Right, and here I'm getting ready for the next NPC round. I bought a Bard, and I bought a couple multi-hitters. Now these two, they're both thieves, so they give plus 40 agility to my elf, and I got lucky with the abilities, so they just wiped out the board. Now if I didn't get lucky, if nobody used an ability and the enemies did, I would have lost. So it's that RNG thing. Now here are the next set of trophies. Alright, so all of these are union trophies. What a union does is it adds another alliance bonus. Now, an alliance bonus is, say you have 2 characters or 3 characters that are classified as mages. Having 3 of them on the field will give you a certain bonus. Now, these trophies give bonuses that only apply in Dragon Draft. And the 4 trophies that you see on the top row, you can get those at the start. You don't need any other trophies to unlock them. But the 8 trophies below them, you need to have one of the top 4 in order to get those. So basically, the top left one that you see is goblins, then humans, then elves, then undead. Below that, you get to see the 2 that stem from goblins. Those are trolls and orcs. Then you get to see dwarves and humanoids, which both stem from humans. Then you get to see beasts and spiders, which come from elves. And then spirits and mechanisms, which come from undead. So you need to get that first trophy in order to get one of the next tier ones. Humans to get the dwarves, as an example. Now, why I've redded out a lot of them, even though they're perfectly good trophies, is you do not need to be playing them. Just don't worry about them, do not get them. Once you get your 2K chest, once you start playing in top 250 games and all that, then you'll start learning how to play these on your own. But before that, there is absolutely no reason for you to be touching those at all. Only worry about elves primarily and humans for now. And let me tell you why. The trolls, which stems from goblins, it's not well balanced right now. Orcs is good, but you need certain characters that are only obtainable as Dragon Draft rewards. And in earlier, lower level play, it's going to be hard to find people with those characters. Maybe that'll change at the end of this season since there's a new orc as a reward, but for now, just don't worry about playing those at all. Goblins is good in the early game to like cheese some big damage on people, but it has no late game at all for you. You don't want to be playing it. Undead, it can run well. You need blue arbiters to run it. It's the spirit and the mechanisms, those are both really good, but they're really reliant on you getting the trophies or on you having blue arbiters or on just nobody playing Enas, because elves are a hard counter to undead, and elves are rampant this season. They're just very overpowered right now. So don't worry about those. And don't pick up the level 1 trophies. Don't pick up the goblin trophy, because if you do that, then you'll start getting the next, continuations of that, and they'll clog up your trophy selection. So instead of getting something you need, you get stuff that you don't need. So don't get undead for now. Do not get goblins. What you want to get is between humans and elves, pick elves. There have been a few buffs this season which both directly and indirectly buffed elves, so right now they're just overtuned and just objectively overpowered. If you get all of the elf trophies, they're the strongest thing in the game, aside from elementals, but only a few people in the game have those, so don't worry about those either. So pick elves over humans. Next, for the next tier of trophies, between the ferocious beasts, the whispering curses, which are elves ones, and the gnome is a mountain, the human one for dwarves, those are great. So the weakest link out of them is the beasts. The beasts, it used to be good, now it's not that good. If blue arbiters are in the game, it's not playable at all. So it's not really something you want to be playing, but it's fine on some occasions. The Whispering Curses, top tier. Gnome is a mountain. It's a free ride through the early game. It's very easy to play and is really strong. So those are the ones you want to prioritize. If you did get Human Union and then you have the option of Elf Union or a Gnome is a mountain, pick a Gnome is a mountain. That's stronger. That's really good. Then for the humanoid one, it's good, but it's not great. The Trusks, the character Trusk from Siege, it's what makes this union work. He's great, it works, but is just outclassed now, and it's too easy to shut down. It's not what it used to be, but it's still very useful. So it's a solid thing, but it's not on the same tier as Whispering Curses or Gnome is a Mountain. Gnome is a Mountain makes your two little one-cost dwarves, makes them strong as hell. And the Whispering Curses makes your little spiders, it makes them continually deplete other people's stats, which makes them really good. Alright, so that's the tier 2 trophies out of the way. Now let's just keep going with our game. Alright, so here's the golem that I need to hit 20 damage in one hit on. My bonuses on my elf are my bard and the 2 thieves, which give it 40%. So here is the first human round, and I lost this one, but that's okay. And I do have the elf trophy, so I'm really hoping to get the spiders and elves trophy, the Whispering Curses, from this. And I am planning to run the summoning dragonoid that I have as my first character. Now here I have a couple good options, and I end up picking the shackles. Alright, so here is a breakdown of the tier 3 trophies. The best ones right now are shackles and the elf hero. Now, why the elf hero is so much better than the others is because, for one, you shouldn't be playing goblins and undead at this stage. So don't worry about those guys. Then the human defender, he can throw off certain types of gameplay. Like if you end up running revivers or something like that, a defender is going to fuck with that. Also, past the early game, he's not a particularly useful hero. Also, what makes the elf hero green, especially in this season, is that these union heroes were recently buffed to where now they can qualify you to get a tier 5 union trophy. And I'll explain exactly what that means a little later on. I don't want to lay too much on you at one point. But he is a very, very solid pick. Now the other green rarity one is the Shackles ability, which is arguably the best ability in the game. It's between this and weapon sharpening, I would say, which those two are the strongest. Now what it does is it reduces the damage you take from a loss by 1 damage per each character your opponent has. So how it works is If you lose to somebody, you take 1 damage for every star that your opponent's creatures have, right? So let's say they have 10 1-star characters. You would take 10 damage. Plus, you would take however much damage is just the flat amount for the round. So in the early game, it's 0. Then as you continue, then you just take 5 flat damage, then 10, 15, and so on. But for now, let's say you lose in round 7, so the flat damage is 0. But if someone has 10 creatures that are all 1-star, you would take 10 damage. With the Shackles ability, you would take 0, because it deducts 1 damage from each character. Now, if they had Power Fists, they would do 20, but Shackles would lower this to 10. So it's an incredibly impactful ability. The ones in yellow are Tavern Refresh, so it lets you refresh the store for 1 coin instead of 2, saves you a lot of money. Then, the next one with the star, it gives all of your characters Weakening, incredibly useful ability. Then a red one, don't fucking worry about it, don't get it. And then Digger for Knowledge, which lets you get experience for 1 coin cheaper. Really good utility ability. The other 3, don't sweat them for now. They're not bad, they're not good either. Arguably, the improving trophies can be bad, because if you're looking for a lower level trophy, it can exclude you from that. But, get those if there's nothing better. Alright, so that's the tier 3s out of the way. Let's keep going with our game, and I'll stop to explain the next trophies. Alright, so right now I am reducing my board to just 3 characters. Because at the end of every human round, I get to pick between my 3 lowest ranked characters, and I get to level one of them up. So to pick who I get to level up, I need to only have 3 on the board at one time. 3 unique ones, I mean. I can have like multiple bards, let's say. So right now, I'm leveling up my summoner. And this guy, since he's a thief, he ends up being really good with elves. Because in the late game, he doesn't become useless. You can just, put on another one, and then all of your guys get plus 40% agility, which is the damage stat for elves. So he's good. Typically, with this character, it's a trade-off, where he's dominant in the early game, extremely strong, but useless in the late game. And there's a lot of these trade-offs. Like, the other classic one is Ina, the elf. She is dog shit in the early game, but an amazing late game champion and amazing counter for certain things like undead, goblins. So, I'm playing him as my early game one, and my strategy right now is hopefully to build elves. And right now I have the option of Whispering Curses and Gnome is a Mountain. Now I'm picking Whispering Curses, and it's an easy choice now. It would have been a difficult decision if this was round 5. The rule of thumb with a Gnome is a Mountain is you do not start playing gnomes or dwarves at round 10. So if you don't get this trophy by round 5, you're not leveling up dwarves this game. You can still get it, just so you can qualify to get the dwarf armor, which gives all of your characters fortitude later on. But that's the only reason you would get that trophy. So I see people on occasion trying to max dwarves despite not having the trophy and hoping they'll get it later. Do not do that. Do not start maxing a dwarf at 10. You either play dwarves at 5 or you don't play dwarves that game. And if you do get fortitude without dwarves, all you need is 3 humans, so you just move your bards to the back. So here I am still relying on my summoner guy, the Coletta, to carry me through these fights, while Ina just sits there like a little shit and gets leveled up. Basically, with Ina, I try not to play her first unless I have to. If you play her first, you're gonna lose a lot of early game battles, and you're gonna lose a lot of health. If you have shackles, then fine, you're just going to lose some potential gold. It's not the worst that can happen. But if you can play something better than Ina, then do it. For elves, the best thing to start out with is actually the Blue Arbiter. And then second place is the Trophy Elf, the Queen of Pain, the Summoner Coletta guy. So there's a lot of options better than Ina. And here I'm picking up Trafael, even though it's pretty late to do that. It's typically advisable to just get him at level 5, or level 10, but I'm picking him up way late. I'll explain why later. Alright, for now though, here are the tier 4 abilities. I've color-coded them just like the last ones. Now on the top row, all of these are weaknesses. So they reduce the stats of a certain type of character. The first one's goblins, then humans, then elves, then undead. This will work on your opponents and on you. So they will lower the stats of your characters of that type. Now, why 3 of them are in red is because it doesn't matter if you lower those characters' stats. Like goblins, their strength is being able to duplicate and replicate, not necessarily having high stats. So lowering their stats doesn't matter. Same with undead, it doesn't matter at all. Elves, it's a good ability. So get that if you're getting hit by elves. It's strong. Now the ones in green are 2 amazing abilities. One is Dwarf Armor. This gives your whole team fortitude. Just incredibly strong. Then the other one is Summoning Spiders. It gives all of your elves the ability to summon 2 spiders per turn. So it's like a double Queen of Pain out of each of your elves. It is really, really strong. The one right next to it in yellow is Beast from the Thicket, and it lets your elves summon 1 beast, which gets the beast ability of it. When it gets hit, all other beasts get plus 35 to all stats. Really good. The other one that's in yellow is 30 coins. This one is a game changer. If you know how to play around it, then you can do some really busted shit with it. It's a great ability, can really pick you up if you're behind. Now the other ones, I just didn't have the heart to put red over the undead tier 4s just because they're great abilities. The Mechanisms one is great. The Faces of Evil is amazing, but you should not be playing those right now. Just forget they exist. Same with the Orcs. It's great, but just do not worry about it. It's gonna make you lose points right now. So just focus on Elves and Dwarves when you get Dwarves. The other one, Extra Space, good ability. Nothing compared to Dwarf Armor. Then the Power Fist, also very useful. At this point in the game, even if you're playing in low rank, start picking this ability up. It's the same rule doesn't apply as with the tier 1, where you can wipe out people that you would otherwise feed off of. At this point in the game, everyone who survived is an enemy, and you do want them out of the game, so it's a good ability. Then the last one is 25 healing. And then the other red ones are humanoids, boost everyone's wisdom by 50%. It's cool, but it's not a game changer. And then the trolls one. Again, good ability, don't worry about it for now. Alright, so here's why I bought the elf hero so late in the game. Typically how you play elves is you buy 1 hero, then you buy an Ina, then after round 18, you jump up to either level 10 or level 11, whatever you can afford, and you buy 1 or 2 Aelrids, the 4-mil Siege Elf hero. I don't trust people to bring in Aelrids. I'm not bringing in anything myself. What you want to do is bring in Aelrids every game. I just don't know if people are doing that, so that's why I brought this guy in and got him so late. And here's just a quick rundown of why elves are so busted right now. Aelrid is strong as hell, has really good stats, has a great active ability which is a multi-hitter, and also his opening ability is he boosts the stats of 3 elves, the attack and agility, by 50%. So he's like an Einstein plus an active ability. Amazing hero. Then the Summoning Spiders is just a broken ability. It's if the game goes on longer than a round, then you win, and you win with a full board. The last one, the tier 5 weapon sharpening, it got buffed last season. It used to be an extra hit plus a small boost. Now it's an extra multi-hitter which hits 3 plus a boost. So this turns your elves into fucking machine guns. Basically, if you have this combination, or if you have just Aelrids and the weapon sharpening, then you're gonna win. It's the best kind of late game, aside from elementals, which very few people have, so don't worry about those. So this is the combo. Now, that in mind, elves without Aelrid are not very good. They're just not. They're, I would say, pretty balanced with the rest of the game, actually. It's basically Aelrid that makes them so broken and busted. So I'm getting the extra elf hero just in case there's no Aelrids. I'll waste a little bit more time leveling him up. Also, I've been getting him late more and more just because I don't trust people to have Space Warrior, which is the late game continuation of Elves. So if there's no Space Warrior, then you might as well have an extra elf and waste a couple turns leveling him up. Alright, so now I'm just taking it easy, I'm combining my Inas, and I'm playing the waiting game. I'm staying above 50 gold, and I'm slowly jumping up to level 10, slowly leveling up. Now, why 50 gold is because you get an accumulated gold bonus at the end of every round for every 10 gold you have, and this goes up to 50. So 40 gives you 4, 50 gives you 5, 60 and 70, they also give you 5. So I'm just keeping above 50, and I'm slowly leveling up. What I need next is Aelred, who costs 10 coins. Now, to get a 10 coin hero, you have to be level 10. At level 11, a 10 coin hero becomes a lot more likely though. At level 12, you stop being able to see 1 gold heroes in the store, de facto making 10 coin heroes a lot more likely. So you just keep going up before you go refreshing for it. So right now I'm going to give myself a strong foundation. And what you're seeing here is that I got Weapon Sharpening, which is arguably the best ability in the game. What you're looking at here is the 5th and final tier of abilities, and I've color-coded them just like the last ones. Now, I left the Exploding Goblins and the Greater Necromancy, I left those blank because you shouldn't be playing Undead and Goblins yet. Don't be playing them, but they are good abilities. They're very good, especially Greater Necromancy. Now, the Elf one, it's a no-brainer. It's the best in the game right now. Really, really powerful. Makes your elves, even your weak elves, your base rarity ones, makes them deadly, makes you just wipe out your enemy. The Healing of Humans, the one that's to the left of it in yellow, it makes your humans heal everybody, gives them an AoE heal. It's really useful, especially if you have the Fortitude one. On the bottom row, on the very left, we have the 45 healing, generally useful. Then we have Protection from Magic. It gives you plus 20% magic resist. Now this stacks additively, not multiplicatively, which makes it really overpowered. Because there is a union called the Seers Union. For instance, all Arbiters are Seers. Now if you have 2 Seers, like 2 Arbiters, you get plus 40% magic resist. If you have 4, you get 80%. If you have 4 plus this trophy, they add up. So you get plus 100% to magic resist, meaning no matter how strong their mages are, they cannot hit more than 1 damage to you. So they can have a board full of Mid-Clons, Einsteins, and Zeuses. They cannot do more than 1 damage to you if you have this trophy plus the 4 Arbiters. So it's OP. The one next to it reduces melee damage. Not good. It's not a great trophy. The one next to that is plus 10% dodge. It's really strong, especially with the new changes they made to AoE abilities having a miss chance, especially if you're playing something that already has a dodge chance. Like, you know, Elves is the obvious example. There's Elves, there's the Spiders, there's the, what's it called? The Whispers. If you have dodge already, and then you have this, it can add up to make a really, really frustrating sort of composition to fight against. But yeah, we've got our trophies, and then here I'm going to cut the video short, if you can call 30 minutes short, just because there aren't Aelrids in this game. Nobody brought one in, and this kind of shows you the importance of bringing in Aelrids with you. If you intend to play Elves, which you definitely should. You should play Elves every chance you get this season, until they get nerfed. But yeah, because nobody brought in Aelrids, I have to end up playing some weird bullshit this game. I just throw whatever in the game, and I end up getting 2nd place. But just so I'm not teaching bad habits and all of that, I'm just going to cut this game short in a second. And yeah, basically what you would do here is pick up Aelrids. What you would do after that is jump up to level 13 when you can. You know, get 3 Aelrids if that's the move. If it's not, then you could get Space Warriors at level 13 store for 18 gold apiece, and those buff your agility. So that's the move. Here, I end up playing like a dragon or some shit. It ends up being very clumsy. I'm combining Nazibas. This is not something you would do. Basically, I'm just scraping second place here because there aren't Aelrids, which really cucks the archers. So yeah, this has been another installment of the Dragon Draft Guide. This is hopefully everything you need to know for now about trophies. In my next video, I'm going to continue on this new account, and I'm going to show you the next part of the journey, and I'm going to explain another Dragon Draft mechanic that you need to know in detail to be winning your games. So yeah, just subscribe so you don't miss it. Like this video, get me out to the people, and yeah, keep fucking with me. I'm gonna put out the next video pretty soon. I've already got a bunch of these recorded, just need to cut them down and do the voiceovers. But yeah, thanks for watching this. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.